Welcome to the Journeyman Cave, a podcast where we meet and chat with some of boxing's most seasoned road warriors, hosted by Mark Shakespeare and Chris Scarfe.
Welcome back to the Journeyman Cave. We are here with round 35, and with me as always, Mr. Mark Shakespeare. How are you doing?
Good as always, pal. We always are, aren't we, mate?
Always. We've come yet again to the end of a batch of interviews that we've done. This is the last interview of, is this series 4?
Yeah.
4 series. I mean, we keep them short and sweet, don't we? But so what have we got rounding off this series?
We've got a good one, mate. We've got one of the quite newish guys on the circuit. We've got Mr. George Rogers today, mate. I've been wanting to get George on for quite a while. And obviously been a bit busy with his mortgage business and stuff, and he'll talk a bit about that on his on the podcast. But it was good to get him on. I also want to talk to him as well. He's been through a bit of a bad time, and he had to go for a medical, and I had something wrong with his eye.
Yeah,
and I know it's set him back a little bit, and he'll talk about that also on the podcast. So it was good to get him in, and now he's passing medicals. And since we've done the interview, his first return fight, he got a good draw on the road, didn't he?
He did. I was well chuffed for him.
Yeah, and I'm sure that'll make him feel so much better. And I think we're going to see a lot of him.
Yeah, well, I hope so. A really nice kid. I mean, he made the trip up to us, didn't he? Where did he come from? I
think you're from Leicester, wasn't he?
Something. Yeah, I think it were Leicester. So, appreciate people making that effort, absolutely.
It's massive for us if people can make the effort for us. I mean, we know, like you've said before, mate, it's hard and we do travel. But when people come to us, it means, and we like to see them. Like we always say, we love to show them around Barnsley, don't we, mate?
We should definitely get second jobs on the Barnsley Tourism Board. But before we get into that with George, as always, we started doing just a reminder, if life isn't going as well as expected, if you're struggling a little bit, if you're feeling a bit down, look up your nearest Andy's Man Club and get yourselves along. There'll be a link in the show notes. You can find your nearest club. Really, really support this group, this charity, because they're doing fantastic work. But look in the link below, find your nearest club, go along on a Monday night, and there's people there willing to listen to you and be there for you. You're not on your own. So, saying all that, last interview of the series with George Rogers.
Let's do it, mate.
The question I want to know first, the first time, do you work alone?
I've got I've got another mortgage advisor now, or a trainee. So
were you doing this before boxing?
Yeah, so I was freelance before, but now I've set up my own company.
Yeah.
So now I've got a trainee mortgage advisor, and things going. I think we're turning the corner. I think things are going well.
What's it called then, George?
Rogers Finance.
Rogers Finance.
I need to change the name probably because it's solely me, isn't it, Rogers? So I was thinking, I need to change the name, right? Because I want something brandable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at some point I'll rebrand it because I'd like people to take over I'd like it to grow. It's the Rogers is solely to myself, isn't it? So yeah, we started freelance now, set up my own business, doing a pensions and investments financial advisor course at the same time. Which I shouldn't have done when starting the business because it's been all a bit too much this year.
Right.
But ultimately I want it to be a wealth company. So I can do everything and do pensions and investments and stuff. So we're getting there. It's just been hard.
I just wondered, it won't be apt. But I just wondered what that first time you walked in with maybe a black eye or something and somebody thought, so you've been doing, but I'm assuming they know that you do boxing as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think it differentiates it a bit. Do you know what I mean? It's noticeable, isn't it? I suppose it's just so out the ordinary.
It reminds me of Fight Club, and like they're going to the day jobs and they've got a suit or shirt on, and then they're there with like cuts and bruises and stuff. And I just thought, just imagine you walking in, anybody thinking, what's he been up to?
I'm a bit like Fight Club, I think. Do you know what I mean? Far from.
I think you are, George, to be honest, mate.
Yeah.
Now, coming on to this, we had a quick coffee before we come out, actually, Scarfe. And we've got some hot off of the press here.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I think we've got a nickname for this guy.
Right.
Come on, George, tell us.
George Real Estate Rogers.
I can see the logo now.
Yeah, well, I've decided on the phone call, on the drive home, I'm going to make the phone call. We're going to start the branding. It's coming.
I love that.
It's coming, that is.
And you like Scarfe? Are you happy with that one?
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
I want a T-shirt.
Yeah, definitely get a T-shirt. He said you're going to put our logo on, so that's good.
Yeah, we'll have the Journeyman cave on, definitely, yeah.
We'll have a couple of trips next year, George. Well, now I've got my seconds. I'll come and help you out if you're ever in this area. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, of course I do, yeah.
And I know it's been a tough year for this year, hasn't it, mate?
Yeah.
Are you going okay now and you're feeling... Are you back into it?
I'm back into it, yeah. Like I say, so I had a... I'll tell the story for the podcast. It's a good one, actually. So I was in London fighting at your call.
Yeah.
And a doctor wrote on my report, basically I had an oval pupil. I've never had this before, but I had an oval pupil. But so, of course, the board saw that on one of the reports and said, you've got to go for a full ophthalmic report, ophthalmologist report. It turns out I didn't have an oval pupil, but what I did have is not the best vision in my left eye. So got my licence stopped because it didn't meet the vision requirements. I've had to have laser surgery to correct my vision. And yeah, it's been rough, to be honest, because it was when I was going so well with it and I'd had all my plans and everything I were feeling great and everything were coming together. It really put me off course. If I'd looked back, I shouldn't have let it put me off course as much as it did. But you learn in life, don't you?
Yeah,
for the future.
absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
What was the plan from the start then?
So I'm 28 now. I wanted to get to 100 fights, but I wanted to get them done quick. So I wanted to get out by probably 32. So I'd really do 20 a year. I'd have got it done pretty quickly. But what it's taught me is I was trying to do everything just too quick. Because I got working full time, plus trying to get to 100 fights in X many year, and everything just sort of went poof. So now I still want to get to me 100, but I want to do it more slowly and methodically and probably later into my mid-30s and do it right, do a bit more time between fights because I work so much in the day, in my day job as well. Not to have just every weekend, still be active and busy and have times where I'm at that stage, but it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
It is. How many have you done now?
32 now.
32, you're well on your way, George. And like you said, you're 28 now. And as we all know, life is tough.
Yeah.
And nothing ever runs as it's meant to do, does it?
No.
And it's proven that with this year. I spoke to you a few times. I know it's been tough for you this year.
Yeah.
But like you said, you've come through it, mate.
Yeah.
Your vision's back. You went to laser eye surgery. Your business has turned the corner. And it's a good time to come back now.
Yeah.
Just ease your way in this year.
Yeah.
And then next year, let's have a big year.
Yeah.
And we'll try and get,
That's the plan. I feel great. I don't feel like I've got miles on the clock or anything. I really don't. So the business is turning the corner. My day job's turning the corner. So if I can get back to it this year, get my confidence up this year, then next year I want to get at least over 50. And I want to do some big stuff next year. I want to get on Sky Sports or DAZN or take a fight that I want to take a big, I want to be of the ability and of being a stage where I can say a big show comes. I'm ready to take that. You know what I mean? I'm ready to fight a big name on a big show next year.
Well, I can guarantee 100% that call will come.
It'll come, won't it?
It will come next year. You're too good not for it to come, George, at weight you're at.
Yeah,
There's a lot of good fights out where you are.
Of course there are, yeah.
There's some up-and-comers at that weight as well. That phone call will come and you will get that wish next year, mate.
Have you got a manager?
Yeah, Scott Kalo, yeah. Brilliant manager.
Good guy, looks after you.
So much. Yeah, classic, absolutely wonderful person. Wonderful person. Yeah.
Does he look after you? Do you sometimes take you as well, train? Does he take you in the ring sometimes?
He does, yeah. And then I've got me Nathan who takes me as my trainer. He takes me otherwise, so they split it between the both of them. Nathan Kirk.
Yeah, we've got to put Nathan Kirk in. We've got to get the second name in.
Yeah, we've got to get him. Yeah.
So you won the lucky one, George. You've got a couple of good people behind you.
Yeah.
And like you said, as we go into October, you're out on the 20th, aren't you?
I am indeed, yeah.
And you've also got a line up in Scotland as well. Am I right?
Looking forward to that. Really look forward to that.
Why are you looking forward to that one then, mate?
Just a good away day. But do you know what I mean? It'd be a good atmosphere up there, going up Scotland to fight.
Heard many a time.
Yeah.
Some good, some bad.
Yeah.
Some good, some bad. But yeah, I think the atmosphere in Scotland, like I've said in a few podcasts, they're very passionate.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they get behind the fighters, and it's no bad thing. And you're going to go into Lion's Den, but it'll be a good experience for you,
Exactly,
George.
that's
a
what I
really
mean.
good experience for you. And like you said, you're going to be knocking easily 35 come the end of the year.
That's the idea.
And then next year, you've got the 50 will be no problem for you, mate. Touch wood, everything will go okay. And I think it will do, mate, and it's back.
I think, yeah, the way to, so what I've learned from this year is you have to turn negatives into positives, don't you?
Most certainly.
Is next year, if I know that's my target to reach the 50, me lifestyle and everything's got to promote that as well. So so that's my goal for next year. When I'm not fighting, resting. Do you know what I mean? Calming things down, keeping things calm and easy. And so then I'm ready to go into it. Ready. Do you see what I mean? I can't be doing 100 million things and trying to, do you see what I mean? Then fighting that way time. Do you see? Because that's what I did. You see, I'd done 32 in 2 years or something. But then I'd exploded. So now I know if that's my target, things have got to be mellow, calm in other areas of me life, I suppose.
And you've definitely learned, mate, and that's the way to go. But like you said, 32 fights in the bag already, mate.
Yeah.
We've got 1 win, 28 losses, and 3 draws.
Yeah.
It's a good start, mate, isn't it? And I want to go, firstly, you can come in a minute, but there's one guy I really like, and your debut, you fought Luke Middleton, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
What do you reckon to Luke, then?
Yeah, Luke's tough. He's tough, isn't he? Yeah, he's good at what he does. Yeah, it was a good first fight, that was, I think.
Draw fair result, George? You think you should have nicked it, or...?
Draw's fair result. A fair result. I think he'd probably want, I don't know if we want to repeat it. I think I'd beat him now, if I'm honest. But I think for my debut, that were a fair result.
You're in
2
workshop,
rounds each.
wasn't it?
Workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a good little debut to start off with that, mate.
Yeah, it was.
And then I've got this guy down here. I've got Angelo Antonio,
Yes.
right? And we lost on points in Ipswich from Portugal. A bit of international flair there, mate, isn't there? How'd that come along?
How did that come along? Yeah, he was just in Essex. Yeah, he was in Essex. I think I fought him. So I fought him in Essex.
Do you know where that was? That was at Circus Tavern.
Circus Tavern, yeah.
I never knew I did boxing there.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it's not just the darts, mate. It's not just the darts. Antonio, yeah, he was good, Antonio. Very explosive. I'm okay with people like him because if they explode themselves out fast twitch, then they work for the full round.
Yeah.
I can handle them because I'm pretty fit. But he was tough. He was good. He was a very explosive kid. If you looked at him, very muscle bound and stuff. I'm normally all right with them. To those styles because they'll explode 2 or 3 times around, and then they'll ease off, and I can, because of the fitness and the durability, I can keep going with that.
Well, we're not going to ask you which fighters don't like to fight, Joe. We don't want to get that away, do we?
Keep away, though.
Keep that with that. Yeah. Keep that under your arm.
Yes,
We're not giving that away.
No, definitely not.
That's for sure, mate. But yeah, I noticed that on the record, and then you had a bit of more European flair as well after that, mate. Dennis Nurja, didn't you, as well?
Don't bring that
the
one
Albanian.
up. Yeah. That was tough. He'd won medals and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had for Albania and stuff, hadn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good to go, through stuff like this, because if I'd only ever dreamed I'd be doing what I'm doing now, I'd have said you're mad. But fighting him, that was tough. I stuck in there, to be fair, and didn't get stopped. But that was tough. Nurja was brilliant, yeah.
One of the best?
He just walked me down. Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Is he still going now?
I've looked recently, actually. He's still going now, but I don't think he's that active, actually, for how good he is.
Because I think I also looked. I mean, I'm not a big looker at Box Rec, but I did look on Box Rec, and I noticed he wasn't very active. But I didn't know if he was still going or not. Because his record was quite good, wasn't it?
He is. He's good, and he stops a lot. To be fair, doesn't he? But I just don't think he's that active for some reason. Well, do you know what I mean? Whether he builds up, he'll be in his late 20s now. I just don't think he's that active.
Tough fighter then, mate.
Yeah, it's very, yeah.
I thought he might have put a little clip at signing, mate, for that, actually.
Yeah.
And then I've got here, mate, here. We've got Lorenzo Grasso and Tyrone King.
Yeah.
You fought them both, didn't you?
Yeah.
Who do you think they're better, the two?
They've just fought recently, the pair of them, haven't they? Probably like... It's a good fight, probably quite similar ability levels, to be honest, those two. Yeah.
Because obviously Tyrone ended up beating Grasso by KO.
Yeah.
And I just wondered if you saw any differences between them, or...
I think it'd be whoever caught it. I think King caught him.
Yes.
And that would be the difference. I think that would be a good fight between them two because they're very similar. I think very similar in ability levels, to be honest.
I mean, like he says, they were both quite decent record when you fought them, weren't they? But then most of them were George on yours, weren't they, to be quite honest? You don't fight anyway losing records, do you, mate?
No, mate.
So, yeah, Tyrone King won him that, actually, by TKO.
Yeah.
So, moving on from that, mate, we had Jack Mantle, a nice draw in Nottingham, mate.
Yes.
That must have been a good one for you.
It was. I thought I won the first one quite comfortably.
Yes.
If I'm honest. And then on the rematch, I'd have gave it to him. Yeah, gave it to him. I thought I won that first one comfortably, to be honest. Yeah.
In the Lions Den, you got sometimes, like we say, a draw usually means that you've got it, doesn't it? But, I mean, we're a tough place to go like, but good to go back to Nottingham, mate. Yeah,
like I said, lived in Nottingham for 6 or 7 years, so that's where I started boxing, really. So, hopefully more to come in Nottingham, definitely. Yeah.
Is anybody round Nottingham now? What is it? Is it Lee Wood who's Nottingham?
Lee Woody's, tonight. That'll be up tonight. Yeah, versus Warrington, won't it, tonight?
So, right then, obviously this will be going out after the fight, but go on, Scarfe, who's going to win tonight?
Who did you say?
Lee Wood and Josh Warrington.
Is Warrington still going? I do know him. I don't know that name, don't I? I thought he'd stopped.
No, still going, mate.
No, still going.
I'll go with Warrington then.
You go Warrington,
Oh, you're going for, mate?
Who am I going for? I'm going Lee Wood on points.
On points?
Or late stoppage, probably. He's done well, Wood, innit? Recently.
Been some belters as Wood, hasn't he?
And he can bang. And he can box long. I wonder if boxing long, I think he'll nick it. But Warrington, he might break him down with pressure. So
yeah,
I'd say Wood, but I wouldn't put my money on it.
Well, I think Lee Wood's a kind of fighter. He seems to come through no matter what.
Yeah.
But he has been in the doldrums, he's been taken to them dark places. He's been on the floor, hasn't he, against Colin and stuff like that, and come back. But I like an underdog, so I'm going to go for Warrington on points. Really? That's maybe just because
if
I'm
you're
underdog.
Going Warrington, can I change my vote?
Go for it, mate. Go on. We've got 2 for Lee Wood and 1 for Warrington.
That's it.
So when this gets released, I'll be the one who's the winner.
Yeah.
But no, it should be a good fight that tonight, mate. Are you going to watch it?
I've got that show, haven't I? But I've got DAZN, so I might do, actually. I might watch it on my smartphone.
Is it on DAZN then
tonight?
Yeah,
DAZN tonight, yeah.
So, after I moved on from that, mate, we've got Bobby Dalton. Still going, mate. Remember that one?
Yeah, that was a good... Yeah, Dalton, he was okay. Dalton. Yeah, he was good.
Good little fighter?
Yeah, good little fighter. But
still going now, isn't he?
Still going. And it's young.
That was his debut against you as well, George. Debut.
I think... Was he early 20s? I think he was early 20s. I think as he gets bigger and strong, I think as he gets his man strength, he'll get better. Dalton will, I think.
Yeah, I think he's got a little bit to go, hasn't he, as well there, Dalton. But, yeah, he's still going now, isn't he? But I don't know if it's true or not here. I've got here Michael Hennessy Jr.
Yeah.
It's not any relation to the Mick Hennessy, is it?
Yeah, of course. It's his son. Yeah.
But I thought it was, but I thought, I better ask George this. So, because he hasn't got a bad little record, has he?
He's good.
Yes.
He's good. He's all right. He's getting better as well.
Tell us about it, George.
He's good, he is. That was a tough evening. Villa Park, 6 rounds. He took some hammer. If you have too many of them, you're going to have a short career. But yeah, he's good. He's getting better. He's only young again. He'll get better. He's good. Yeah, he's good, Hennessy Jr. is.
Again, one of the best you've been in with then?
Yes, definitely, yeah. People within the boxing world have, from what I've heard anyway, have said they don't expect big things of him, but I think he will. I think he'll get better. Do you know? I think once he's getting it, but once he gets his man strength, I think he'll get better. Hennessy Jr. I think you'll probably see him British title. I agree. I think so. I would be surprised if he didn't actually.
I thought he was. Obviously, I thought it's got to be, but I thought. I didn't know. I mean, I've seen him fight a few times. I just thought I'd better ask you properly if it were actually Mick Hennessy's. And it would sound a complete clown if he wasn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think British level.
I think so. I think British level. I do think so. I think he'll. Yeah, because he's only young. Do you know what I mean? He's got time. I think and he's got the family. He's got this. He's got the family. He's got his sister's just turned pro, isn't she, with boxer?
That's she. I didn't know that.
She's. So Bradley Skeet's both. It's the coach. Both
Is
of
it?
them. Right. So I think he'll get better over time, and he'll have that time to devote to it.
He gets a few mentions of Bradley Skeets on this podcast.
I'm going to say, I know that now.
Yeah, in fact, he got mentioned last time with Steve Spence, I think.
Steve, yeah.
And everyone says he was very tricky, Bradley. Very good boxer.
Yeah, good boxer. Yeah.
And good career he had, mate. So I dare say make a very good coach, like he says. So they're in good hands there, I'd say.
Yeah.
Going forward. But I think that'll be one to look back at in a few years' time, George. Say been in with a good one there.
I think so. Him, Nerja. I think Dennis Nerja. I think if he gets active again, I think that'll be one. Those two. I thought Sahirik, pal, in Liverpool, he was good, trained by Anthony Croller.
Right.
But then he lost. He lost. I thought he might be one. But I think those two, Dennis Nerja and Hennessy Jr., will be two where you'll look back when you're older and you think, to get through with them, you've done well, you know.
And I think you'll be in with a few more of them as well before you finish, George, as well, mate.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think so as well. I want to do some big things. I don't want to leave anything on the table.
Yeah, I mean, you won't do, mate. You'll be fine. I've got all faith in you moving forward in that, mate. But obviously, we'll have to Mick Hennessy Jr., we'll just call him, or Michael. Good. I thought he'd be one who stood out for you. His record's quite good, and I think he will win a British title. I'll put that out there now. But after that one there, mate, he went in with Alfie Winters. He's just lost now. First round KO, and he fought Southern Area title. What do you reckon to him?
Yeah, good again. Yeah, you see, you've been in with
good ones,
but it's some good names in. Yeah, Alfie Winters was good. He was good. It was really a shock for it. Whether he got caught cold, whether he got he's good. Winter is. I'm surprised he would have got stopped in the first round by anybody really, because he's. Whether he got caught cold or he got caught in the right, that's boxing, I suppose, isn't it? If you get caught in the right spot, anybody's going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes a puncher's got. We always say this. I said it hundreds of times, and I'll say it again. Sometimes a puncher's got your name written on it.
Sometimes, exactly.
And it doesn't defy you, does it?
No.
Just like your last fight, George. You know, it was tough for you when you got stopped in your last fight, but as you said, you've come through it. A loss don't mean anything, mate. It don't defy a person. If you get lots like with you, he's lost a few, but your first stoppage and you were tough. I know Carl Sampson took his first stoppage really tough.
Yeah.
But, just like he's been stopped there, winning it first round, it don't defy him. He can come back. And he'll say that if they rematch, it might be a completely different story in future.
Judge me by my losses, not by my wins, is what they say, innit? And that's the truth, innit? It's the truth.
It most certainly is, mate. Yeah. Most certainly. And then after that, mate, you went in with a tick called Thomas Crowder, didn't you?
Yes.
At Bramall Lane in Sheffield, the Sheffield lad.
Yeah.
Did he sell many tickets in? Were you a ticket seller?
So that's a good one you brought up, Crowder, to be fair. I thought I won that.
Did you?
I thought I won that. I thought comfortably, but they gave that. Yeah.
In what way? Do you just think you'd outboxed him, or you're too strong for him? Or?
Yeah. Just anything. Not to sound big-headed, but anything. Outboxed him probably that time, to be honest. Just won comfortably, I thought, because I'd been in with some good people just before then.
Yeah.
And then
obviously,
and I'd been on a decent run, and I thought I'd beat him, to be honest. But I made for that night. I don't know why. It was very unlike me, but whether I was pent up or something. Yeah. But I argued back with the referee a bit that night, which is very unlike me. I'm not that type of person at all. But that night I did. So maybe I did that for myself, and the referee. You know what I mean? But I thought I won that. I thought I won Crowder. That was one.
Yeah. So that's one that sticks out. Everyone's got one.
That
a couple
sticks
that stick
the most. That's funny you should bring that one up, because that's the one that sticks the most. Yeah.
Who were on that fight? I can't remember because usually in Bramall Lane, there's usually someone quite big.
Samo Mason, was it?
Was it Samo Mason?
Yeah, I think he headlining it.
He's come back, Sam, now. He's with Cash Hussain now, isn't he? He's Sam. Yeah, he won last night.
He fought. I did see he fought last night.
Yeah, I think he were... if I'm not mistaken, he went in with another good young journeyman at the minute. He went with Jake Smith last night. Yeah. Won by a shutout, but I think I'm sure Cass has got him out again next week in a big fight. Yeah, it's nice to see him coming back, because I think he's got a lot to give. I never knew he headlined at Bramall Lane, though.
Did he headline? I'm not sure. Yeah, I think he did. No, I'll tell you who headlined. What's his name? The White Gorilla. What's his name? Callum. Is it Callum something or other?
Oh.
He's on that Boxing Science all the time. The White. What's his name? I'm sure. Do you know him? Callum somebody or other.
Oh. I'm terrible with names, George.
Yeah. It's just, he headlined.
Did he?
He headlined, yeah.
have to
And
think.
Sam Mason was second. It'll come back. As soon as I look it on Instagram, I'll be able to find it. But
Yeah, we're not bothered, mate.
No.
We go with the flow here, mate. Don't worry about it. We don't mind getting a couple wrong, mate.
Yeah.
But you're a good place to fight in Bramall Lane, though. I've never been to a Bramall Lane show.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Where did you actually fight then? Is there actually a room inside?
There's
or?
a suite, one of the suites.
Right.
Yeah, one of the suites inside.
See, again, you look at Barnsley suite, don't you, at football in Barnsley? You couldn't you couldn't really get a box in that. I just picture Barnsley's East Stand. And
You'd have to do it on concourse at East Stand, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and I just thought, I wondered, there must have been a room that was big enough. Obviously, we haven't got that at Oakwell, unfortunately.
We'll have to do Tom Pitch for Callum Simpson, wouldn't they?
They'll have to do, mate. It's going to happen, I think.
I think so.
Gonna happen.
I think it's good what Boxer are doing because you need to build people up in their own cities. Do you know what I mean? So bringing it somebody like him to Barnsley, and then you know what I mean, the different areas is Chris Billum-Smith in Bournemouth.
Yeah,
that's the way I'd build their profile up.
And again, Callum Simpson and Billum-Smith, two absolute gentlemen who deserve everything in the sport. I mean, some people like Billum-Smith can be a bit, you could think, get carried away. But what a gentleman he is. I mean, I messaged him a while back for an autograph. And you know what? He sent me out just like that. And I'll always say I'll pay. And he just sent me a few over. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that. Callum's exactly the same. And he's a good face. Both of them are good faces to have for Boxer.
Yeah.
They're both great guys. And they both deserve all success they get. And I think both of them will get to the top. And I didn't think he beat Coley, but he did. And he beat him quite convincingly. And I was over the moon for him when Billum-Smith did him.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Cody's tricky, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah.
And again, with Billum-Smith, he's done it with sheer hard work as well. He's put a lot of work in as Billum. Coley, Coley was good at what he did.
Yeah.
He's boring to watch.
He is.
But why change it to win your world titles?
Those, yeah.
And I mean, why change things to win your world titles? But Billum-Smith's work rate that night were amazing. And it says they've got two good faces at Boxer now with Billum-Smith and Callum. And I really hope Callum can bring some home for our town. Do you?
Definitely.
I think he will.
He said he's going to come on show, but I don't know if he's a bit too good posh for us.
That was before he got signed to Boxer.
Yeah, after he got signed for Boxer and he went quiet.
He got signed about a week after we were messaging him. They were like, I'll come on, and I was asking him dates, and then it just went quiet. And he's been signed by Sky.
Well, I've seen Callum a few times. I mean, like he says, he also trains alongside Jake Pollard at Dickie's gym with Jake Pollard and Nabil Ahmed. And obviously, we've talked about when I ended up being opposite corner from him when he fought Farouk Decor at Metrodome and stuff. So, yeah, a genuinely nice guy, and I look forward to seeing both of them going forward, mate. And I'm sure we're going to see you on Boxer next year, mate.
I think so.
I'm quite convinced we're going to see it.
I think so. I want it to be.
And we'll be there.
We'll
be there, mate.
I really have scheduled next year that I can give everything to, you know what I mean, really. So hopefully, I suppose it's about being at the ability level. Because, when these big shows, because as we know, they ring often. But it's about being good enough that you're not throwing yourself to the wolves, to the dot. So, hopefully next year, I think I will.
Well, I can guarantee you, like I said, the good thing about having you on, George, is that a bit like when we had Carl on, and not many, we can come back and revisit you in a few years' time. And time goes very quickly, as you'll know. And I think next time we'll see you on here, mate, there'll be a nice list of a few more big names. I'm sure we'll be talking about a couple of big shows, mate. And you'll only learn from every fight, mate, as you go forward.
Yeah.
And you don't go through 32 fights like you have, mate, with some good lads. And there's more to come from you, mate. So, I never knew Bramall Lane had a suite big enough to have a boxing. I'm quite jealous now.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me.
We'll never get that at Barnsley, unfortunately. You never know. One day, up the Reds. We'll keep going.
We've not been in Premier League for 20 odd years.
It misses us. We're back in Championship soon, hopefully, mate. Now, the guy who I next in line, George, right? I know Tyler Rivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him mentioned a few times. And he gets mentioned as a good fighter. What did you reckon to him when you went in with him?
Good, yeah, he's good. I fought him on his debut when it was probably a good time to fight him. He's still only young. Again, I saw him. I went to the Leicester show, Carl Grieve show in Leicester last week. He's thickening out now. So he'd probably be better than when I fought him now. He's thickening out, he's getting his man strength again. He'll be good, he will. Rivers, I think. I could see him English title, maybe. Yeah.
He's one who gets mentioned a lot on the small hall shows when I'm around. And you were one that I stuck and I put a question mark outside, good fighter, when you put on the side of him.
He's been very busy since he's turned pro as well. That's always an indicator. If they go off for a while, do you know what I mean? Then you've got to be in it. Go. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be active. If you're not active, you're making it hard for yourself.
Yeah, well, obviously I did start that one as well, mate. I think he might be one to watch out for going forward. I mean, I'm another one to look back at.
Yeah.
But we're looking forward to that. But we've got to get this one in. Let's go to Colin Dean at Stoke-on-Trent, mate.
Cheers,
at the King's
mate.
Hall. Come on, fill me in. The big W, mate. We need.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about it for an hour because
that's it,
classic
mate. That's
winning.
it. Yeah. Comfortably won. Walked him down for most of it. Comfortably won. I think Dave Allen was commentating at the time, which were quite nice. Do you know what I mean? I like Dave Allen.
He gets around a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, I like him on the. He's a good fighter. He's done well, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? He was commentating at the time. It's good doing stuff like this because I never dreamed that I've ever won a turn professional as a boxer, or to get a professional win and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Against kids that have been busy amateurs and stuff. You know what I mean? Never would have dreamed of it. So it's a big goal ticked again. Yeah,
big goal ticked. How did it feel to that? Did you expect your arm being raised?
Yeah.
On that night, did you think you'd really done it?
I had, but I'd had a few where I thought I'd won in the past. You see, So Mantell, Crowder. I thought Crowder. Do you know what I mean? That Crowder, I thought was unbelievable. So it's nice to get that one done. Yeah.
It's always great to get that W. I love mentioning them when I've got them on. And yeah, good place to do it. King's Hall in Stoke-on-Trent as well, mate. Well, on like a show then, if Dave Allen were commentating, was it some kind of
a stream? I think it's Boxing Social stream,
right?
I believe so. It was on the it's Boxing Social stream, I think. Yeah, so it was done well. It's all done well and stuff.
Yeah, we're good on that, mate. 12, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got to big up these big wins, mate.
Thanks, mate. Yeah.
Obviously. And it's always good to see an away fighter get their arm lifted, mate.
Yeah.
It's always a big buzz for me, mate, going forward. And obviously going on from that as well, mate, we had Ollie Cassidy as well, mate.
Yeah. Good fighter, yeah.
I thought so.
Good, yeah. He's good, Ollie Cassidy is. I think that night, if I remember rightly, I journeymaned him in essence. You know what I mean? I was on my toes, moving. I didn't stand still very much. Was lots of little movements and stuff to throw him off and stuff. So I think that was because he was good. I think if you let him just sat in front of him and let him start at you, you'd be in trouble. But I think I was tricky that night enough where I could move and put him off and walk around, hold, if he fell in on his work, hold and buy seconds, if I remember right. Because if you'd stood in front of him and just let him pick you off, he could have hurt you, could have really hurt you.
Yeah, but like you said, that just proves though, mate, because that will come in towards the end of your last few fights, that you learnt as well, mate.
Yeah.
And you learn that as you go along. I mean, I think as a journeyman, you're always learning, but you learn these little things, don't you?
Yeah.
And like you said, were it a tough night's work then that? You earned your money that night then, did you?
I think I did well that night in terms of performance because definitely earned me money. But I did well at what I needed to do to make it not as bad, not too bad.
Yes.
See what I mean? It weren't my worst evening because I did well at negating him, I suppose.
Yeah, and that, like you said, George, that's credit to you, mate, how you did that.
Over time, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Experience over time, don't you?
And then after that, well, as well, you went down to Cardiff, didn't you, and fought Carvel Crocker, didn't you, as well, mate?
Yeah, Crocker, yeah.
How did it feel? I want to ask this, how did it feel like, what atmosphere like down Cardiff?
It was good. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah, really good evening, mate. Yeah, like I say, brilliant. And what I do, really, it's great laugh and stuff. Yeah, that was brilliant. Another great night, to be honest.
It is. People don't realise it's a great buzz in that away corner.
It is great,
I mean, you see the same fighters, don't you, on a regular basis as you're going round, and like we've said before, it's like a little family, innit, you've got.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you a question then, George. Who do you think's biggest character in an away dressing room? Who have you met?
Who did I like? So I think he's just retired, but Lee Conley was good. Yeah, he was good. You know what I mean? When I was, it's only been recent with him, so he was good. He was good fighter, tough, came for a scrap. Do you know what I mean? Good character he was. I liked him. I liked him in the dressing room.
Yeah, that's one I wouldn't have thought that, you know. I wouldn't have thought Lee would have been the one, but...
I don't know if it's in terms of, like, big character, maybe, but just a good... He was tough.
A good appearance. He's
good
somebody...
appearance. Yeah, that's a good friend.
Yeah.
When he were in there, he's tough. You know, if we were going out to fight, you know, you knew you'd want to watch that one because he was tough and he wouldn't just cover up and move around. It would be... and I suppose because he was so experienced by the time that I was there with him, he had the aura about him. He was confident in there and he was walking about and, do you know what I mean?
I think he's definitely, like you said, one to look up to.
Yeah.
Because like you said, when you were starting, had been round and done a fair few.
Yeah.
And like you said, he's a very clever person, is Lee, as well. A bit like yourself, George, to be honest, mate. You tell by talking.
Not sure about that.
You are, mate. And like you said, when he finished on 99, he knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
He knew what you were doing, did Lee. And what about a joker? Any jokers in the pack?
Of course, Lewis Van Pooch was recent, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was a good character. Jamie Quinn, I think he's always there. You see him.
Quinny, the old raver. The lads who dance music like me, Quinny, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
I think because you go in there ready to fight, you're quite introverted in yourself because of what you've got to do. But MJ, I think I noticed them that you are tough, I think. So MJ Hall, for example, do you know what I mean? He's always at the shows, always fighting. And I can't remember him being stopped. And he'd go out, do you know what I mean? Because it's tough what he does and stuff. That's there what I noticed around the dressing room. I think, all right, he's here again. He's tough, he is.
He's very tough.
Yeah.
But if you saw him on the street, I mean, he doesn't look like a fighter at all, he does he?
No.
You know, he'll have his glasses on and that, and you just wouldn't put him in that situation. But he's one of the tough. I met him a couple of times, and there's one we'll have to go down. Another one down Birmingham, to be quite honest.
I told you, we need to move.
Yeah.
You'll have to help us get a mortgage.
Yes, mate. Yeah, definitely.
You'll get a mortgage. Yeah. If you can get us a nice place down Birmingham to rent out, mate. But yeah, you've surprised me with Lee Cotnelly. But I understand now. I can imagine he has a big presence around the dressing room.
Presence, yeah, that's a good phrase. Presence,
definitely.
Yeah.
And it's one, he's a great guy, is Lee, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to see him back in the sport at some point, to be honest. I don't think he is at the minute. I think he's working full time with his brother or his brother-in-law on buildings now, building trade.
Yeah,
but it'd be nice to see him back because another one who's got a lot more to give. I think.
It's just well, I think when you're a professional, you give so much time to it, don't you? That probably a few years after you want to give it a break because it's always in the back of your mind. You know what I mean? For years, even if you go away or whatever, especially as a journeyman, you've always got to be fit all the time. We've always got to be on weight and stuff. So I guess probably people want a break. So like Lee want a break once they've done for at least for a couple of years, and then they might come back to it.
Let's see if he does. The old violent vegan, he'll be back, won't he? I think he'll be back.
I got impression when we talked to Lee that he weren't particularly looking forward to retiring.
No.
Because he got his routine and he obviously enjoyed it. I mean, you wouldn't do it otherwise. But I think once you've come out of it and you finally get out of that routine, getting back, I mean, it's not that he has to get back into that routine, obviously, but like you said, you'd like to see him down at maybe at Manor or some at a boxing gym.
Carl says, like I said, we said Carl in a few weeks, he hasn't seen him very much. So obviously, hopefully he's doing well for himself. I mean, that's a good thing for you, George, because you've got something to fall back on. You know, so your routine's not going to completely stop. You've got something that's going to keep you busy, whereas some journeymen haven't.
No.
Sometimes, like we said before, a bit like repeating myself in a few times, some people, it's journeyman's life. You're one of the few who's got something to look, you've got a nice career, touch wood, it's going forward. So when you do reach these goals, and when you do finish, your life's not going to be completely empty.
No.
Whereas some of these journeymen, and I think Lee's okay, but like Scarfe said there, there was a bit of fear about the end for Lee, what he was going to do after, you know. And I think Delroy was same at the time, wasn't he? He was used to just going out, doing what he was doing, his bag was next to the door, and eventually it just stops. So in a way, you've got that nice to fall back on, George. And I would say for a lot of journeymen, try and keep their hand in something. And Seamus Devlin's done that, you know.
Yeah.
Hasn't he? He's saved his money very well and he's finished now, but he's got his own gym open now, hasn't he? He's got his own ring upstairs, and it just proves to a German, just have something to focus on when you finish, because it's a short career. And time goes very fast. And like you say, you're doing the right thing, George, with that moving forward.
Yeah, it will be losing that buzz for Journeyman, because even though it's different to what the prospects, it's a buzz. Do you know what I mean? It's like me in a few weeks' time thinking, right, one, I've got to be super fit, ready for 2 weeks' time. I've got to get ready. Got somebody called. Do you know what I mean? That buzz, you don't get it in many places. You don't. Do you know what I mean? So that's when they finish. I suppose it's being able to accept that they're going to be losing that buzz, which will be hard for some people, because it is a buzz. Yeah. That's why people stick in it, if you notice. You know what I mean? They do go into the mid to the late 30s and stuff. It's that buzz, you know.
I think it was Steve was saying that last week, weren't he? He said it is, that buzz. He says even if you're losing it, you still get it.
Yeah.
It's that adrenaline, obviously, that rush into it you get from all the build up and all that, and then when you come out of it at the end, as long as you're okay, I suppose then you're like, right, I want to achieve that again.
I think it's very important that you have something to, obviously not look too far into the future, but that's my advice to these young journeymen is try and keep something, pull a little bit away for when you get older, and have something to fall back on, because it's a short career. I think there's always going to be bumps in the road. But yeah, moving forward then, mate, I want to go back to the career because I always say names wrong here, but I've got to mention this one.
Okay.
We've got Albert Adati. Adai, come on, I don't know how to say it.
Kumi, Albert Kumi, I think it says it's Albert Adati Kumi, is that
yes.
Right? Yeah.
See, I'm going to try and... I knew you'd... Thank God you come in there and got it for me. I was hoping to say all three afterwards, mate. Yeah, a draw in Manchester.
Yeah, looking back, I probably should have stepped the gas on with Kumi, to be honest, if I'd looked back and got it over the line for a win. Which, like I say, another thing, I suppose, from having the time off and having time to reflect on it is if them opportunities are there again, moving forward. Because I think it goes past just, you want to show what you can do sometimes.
Yeah.
I do now anyway, even more so. So is stepping in those, when I get them opportunities, stepping on the gas. I think if I'd stepped on the gas and think, right, I'm just going to press forward now, I think I'd have got the win there. So yeah. That's merely so good. Pleased with the draw and stuff, but if I'd had my time again, I would have stepped on the gas and tried to get over the line as another win on the board.
Learn from mistakes, though, don't you, George? Yeah. You move forward.
Yeah.
So we're going to move forward now. We're going to talk about your last fight.
Yeah.
Do you know it were hard for you?
Yeah.
Billy Stanbury won it.
Yeah.
At Guildhall in Plymouth, which is a lot of boxing down there, don't they, mate? So
that's a trick.
It was, yeah. It was Plymouth.
To be stopped as well. Well, it's second round he stopped you, mate. What happened? So, I think it's a good place to finish this.
Yeah, good place. Yeah, so
this is not the end.
No, exactly. So no excuses. No excuses. He set about me, which is a good place to end, because no excuses. But the day before I'd realised the eye, I'd been to the ophthalmic and I thought, oh no, they're going to have me because I ain't seen very well out this left eye. So I knew, and I was in a negative place because of that. And that's a contributing factor. Definitely no excuses. Another as well is he'd probably sold about 300 tickets. And I hadn't been. I'd been before, but I hadn't been for a while in probably a real hostile environment where you think, right, maybe, I don't want to sound big-headed, but I'd been doing well. I'd been doing really well, and this one wasn't one where I needed to be switched on and ready, especially when I saw all the crowd. He'd sold probably 300, and he's filled this Guildhall. It was this tiny ring. And on that day, the atmosphere and everything probably got on top of me. And rather than me biting down and fighting, I didn't. I got stopped. Do you know what I mean? I didn't get hurt, fortunately. Going to get knocked down with a decent shot. But on that day, I let the atmosphere get the better of me, and rather than biting down and fighting back, because if I got through the first few rounds, I think I'd have been all right, because he couldn't have kept his pace up that he'd started on. If I'd bit down and fought back, but on that day, unfortunately, I didn't. Do you know what I mean?
No, but listen, mate, you should. It's nothing to be ashamed on, and I know a heck of a lot of journeymen who have been stopped. And they've said on that night, they just weren't there.
Yeah.
And sometimes people burn out.
Yeah.
Some people have got problems outside the ring. And it's nothing to be ashamed of at all, George. And I know it hit you hard, that loss, didn't it? We've talked a few times. And it hurt, didn't it?
We mentioned it on the coffee, didn't we? I'll be honest. So it was sort of, I live a very busy life, and I've realised too busy in the fact that I've got lots of different plates. I've got boxing, I've got my business, I've got other stuff I do. That was the one thing that once I knew I had to go through the eye surgery to get that back, it went like I suppose, like a smashed plate in everything I thought. So that was you learn. So you learn, if I'm going to do my boxing career, which I have, I've got the passion for it, and I've got to make sure everything's acclimatised, be ready for the boxing all the time, not be jumping about, finishing work at 6 o'clock on the Friday before I go down to Plymouth and leave it. Do you see what I mean? Weighing in on do you know what I mean? It's got to be right. I've got to be, if I know I'm going to Plymouth, I'm finishing early, getting everything sorted early Friday, so I've got the afternoon. Do you see what I mean? It was like when I knew the eye surgery I had to do, when that day before, it was like a plate smashed in essence, and I thought, oh no. So that's where you learn.
Everything just got too much, mate, didn't it?
And
I was a bit worried about you, because you went off the board a bit. When you sent me that message, I was dead chuffed to know that you were okay.
Yeah.
But like you said, you've come through with that bad patch now, George. So to finish off on now, we've got 32 at the minute. Is the goal still 100?
Goal's 100. So what the idea, hopefully, you say I've got my business, which we mentioned, I think, at the start. What my idea is that by the time I get to 100, that'll be well off the way that it'll probably be costing me to fight, because they'll be taking me away from that. So by the time boxing finishes 100 fights, my business will have grown every year on year, and then by the time I've got that ready to take over, by the time I retire, and with the boxing, you see, I use that for my day-to-day living. It lets me think long term with my business, so it lets me reinvest all the money from that back into trying stuff or employing or whatever. And so hopefully by the time 100 fights comes, that's the goal. This is a story I play out in my head. Life don't go like this, as we know. But 100 fights, and then the business will be ready to take it over, and then I'll look back and think I've achieved everything I wanted to.
Well, just before we do go, any top tips from the finance world for our listeners?
Top tip. I think top tip is be honest with yourself. I think if you look at what you're spending and where can you cut your cloth accordingly, is what I'd say. A lot of people don't get into keeping up with the Joneses, probably. Look at what you're spending, where can you cut your cloth, what do you need, what don't you need. And I always say the biggest finance tip, it isn't actually the £5 that you save or the £10 that you save, it's the humble mindset that then creates when you start acting in that way. So if you start looking, where can I cut back, where can I have to make, hopefully that'll just, because it's more about the mindset you're creating to then grow. Yeah.
Sound advice?
Yeah.
Most certainly sound advice, mate. So that 100's going to come up then, mate. We're going to see you very busy.
Yeah.
Take it steady this year.
Yeah.
Next year, big year. And I dare say there's going to be a part 2 in this.
I hope so, mate.
Definitely.
And it'd be a pleasure to be in your corner sometime next year, mate.
Yeah, we're going to do some, aren't we, next year?
And come on, before we do go, is that nickname needs to be announced on the 33rd fight?
It will be. It'll be, yeah. And the phone call I make will be, right, is getting that in motion and getting that on all me. Yeah, Rick George Real Estate Rogers. So.
Yeah, we do love a T-shirt, don't we? Yeah, we'll find that out. But it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, George.
Thank you, mate.
And all the best.
No, thank you for giving us a voice, guys. I really appreciate it. Yeah,
that's what we're here for. Anytime. All the best, mate. See you later.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
The Journeyman Cave is produced by James Proud. Music by Ryan Carrier. Special thanks to Rhythm Inc. Studios for hosting. All views expressed are of the guests only. The Journeyman Cave and host bear no responsibility for any opinions given. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter @The Journeyman Cave.